Nobody saw this coming. We knew Clive Davis was seemingly the man behind Diddy's criminal empire, but now it appears there was trouble in paradise. A newly leaked voicemail seems to suggest that Diddy felt ignored and abandoned by Clive Davis and was threatening to expose him before he died.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know, you think you silent treating me, and you think I'm going to be, nah. You'll have a rude awakening. You'll just have silence. Nah, it ain't never gonna work like that over here. You know what I'm saying? I was trying not to leave this message, but you have left me no choice.
This completely changes the equation. All this time, we thought Clive Davis might have been secretly backing and protecting Diddy during the trial and while he was in prison, but it turns out that may not have been the case at all. This leaked voicemail from Diddy certainly makes it sound as though Clive had completely distanced himself from Diddy and the allegations surrounding him in order to protect himself. That is a twist no one saw coming, especially considering how close the two reportedly were.
So I have to ask you, what was your favorite memory working with Diddy?
You know, personally, I've got to tell you, he really is a major star in this film tonight. He's a spokesman all the way through. I met him before I ever knew of him. I met him when he was 21 years old. And when we met, you know, he played me Craig Mack's Flavor in Your Ear. He played me 3 cuts from the forthcoming Notorious B.I.G. album. And we talked for hours and hours about music. And I bought into his dream. And I financed Bad Boy Records. And we had an incredible run, an incredible period.
For years, one question has followed music executive Clive Davis whenever Diddy has made headlines. Just how close were the two men behind the scenes? When Jaguar Wright was asked that very question, she did not hold back. It all began after Clive Davis was seen arriving at an event following Diddy's arrest. Reporters stopped him and asked about Diddy, but instead of giving a clear answer, Davis reportedly acted as though he did not even know who they were talking about.
A lot of people are curious about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy.
Like Puppy. The status of Puppy.
What do you make of that situation?
His answers, or lack thereof, immediately caught people's attention. Was Clive Davis genuinely confused? Was it simply because of his age? Or was he trying to distance himself from someone whose name had become surrounded by controversy? Jaguar Wright offered her own explanation. According to her, Clive Davis was allegedly one of the biggest criminals in the industry.
I have to ask you, you mentioned Clive Davis. They just showed him recently walking into somewhere and they asked him about Diddy and he said who? Is that old age, or does he not? They're not in the same world, or they're in the same world, but they're not cohorts.
He's definitely been his ass.
Oh, okay.
I would call that the same world.
Okay. Pretty intertwined.
And for him to say Diddy who is his way of saying, I'm not talking about Sean anymore. Maybe he's been playing cozy with the other Sean. Maybe he just got him another Sean.
So no one tells P. Diddy what to do, like?
Absolutely.
Who tells him what to do?
Clive Davis in the beginning. No, he didn't empower him. That could put his on a block. He gave him power. And all he had to do was diddle-dee-dee and diddle-dee-dum. Like, he wasn't gonna tell Gene and them that's how he was getting the money.
Right.
Let's be real about that. You think he was gonna admit to these who he went to school with, who essentially he asked to come to make his G official? Like you heard him say, Christopher Williams, street nigga, gangster nigga, Pete Rock, I'll Be Short, they from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Gene Deal, Like, ain't nobody looking at how Puff positioned himself. There was a wall of protection and talent and brilliance around him. Nobody had to look at him for real, for real. And the truth is nobody did. Everybody laughed and joked about him dancing like a idiot in all them god videos. Twirling around in circles and this been wild. Like, you know. So I'm just saying, they didn't know. And he wasn't telling them. They just know he got the budget. He go to LA, he talk to Clive, he come back with the bread. Apparently, he has this man's confidence. Yeah, I'm sure that man was very confident with his in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Clive is a whole freak.
You think Clive put him on to all
I know. Clive, that's what he do. Queen Clive. Long may she reign in hell.
When 50 Cent
Don't nobody want to talk about why R. Kelly's bus was parked in Clive Davis's driveway, why his tour bus was parked in Clive Davis's driveway at the house where the shit went down between Chris and Rihanna. Don't nobody want to talk about why it was filled with video girls who were being
According to Jaguar Wright, Diddy was not the only person who wanted to expose Clive Davis. She claimed that Angie Stone had also been preparing to speak out before her death. Stone died in a car crash under circumstances that Jaguar described as suspicious. Based on her own experiences in the music industry and what she claimed to have learned over the years, Jaguar questioned whether the incident was truly accidental. She also asked why there were reports suggesting that non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs, may have been involved.
I'm saying, in my opinion and all of my investigative knowledge for all of the years that I have been in if it's an accident, it's an accident. Anything said or brought about, there should be no pushback. There should be no hush-hush. A lot of people going missing. That driver's missing now, too. He went to work, turned in his truck, said he was traumatized, and just disappeared. Aaron Hall style.
But we got to get your take because, again, this is something that not only Suge Knight have come out and said, but Whitney's, I believe it's her own cousin, I think it was, not her sister, but saying that Ray J really had something to do with it. And they said if we really go back and look at it, from the party continuing with Clive to Ray J walking out, covering his face, being...
hiding under a jacket while I believe, wasn't it Waffles?
Yeah, Waffles.
That scurried him out the back. As he walked past the bus that had Whitney in it, even though they had another one reported in the pictures of that, yeah.
Should we look further into when we see things like this, that this is before social media was what social media was?
We should always look further because there's always lies. Always. Not to.
Many people suggested that Angie had been preparing to expose major figures in the music industry, but Jaguar Wright said she did not believe that was initially the case. According to Jaguar, Angie believed she had discovered that she had been financially cheated. Jaguar claimed that Angie wanted her money back and was prepared to speak publicly about what she believed had happened, including making allegations involving Clive Davis.
Oh, trying to blow the whistle on her.
No, she wasn't trying to. She found out they robbed her blind. She wanted her money back, and she was ready to expose Queen Davis.
Correct. Tyler Perry spoke up for her.
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I would call that. That sound more like to me, where's my cut?
Ooh.
That's what that sound like to me. Because Monique was very right about one thing. You don't get to be outraged over Angie when you did the same thing to her. And still doing it lightweight. You don't get to be outraged over Angie after what you done to Monique.
Before any of these individuals could allegedly expose Clive Davis, they were either imprisoned or passed away unexpectedly. Now, just as perhaps Clive's most prominent mentee was reportedly preparing to expose him, reports claim that he has died. Could this be another ploy? Is it possible that he faked his death to avoid the fallout from Diddy's alleged expose? That seems unlikely. For the time being, however, it appears that Clive Davis may have died before the full truth about these allegations could come to light.
You're going to tell me Clive Davis has passed away at the age of 94. I woke up shocked this morning because this man has single-handedly outlived majority of the artists he was connected to. And listen, I know that there are some people who are probably in his family or X, Y, and Z that are very, very sad. But what I am saying is I need a documentary. I need a documentary of the artist that he was connected to that seemingly had a weird passing that happened. You know, a lot of people don't like Clive Davis for the mere fact of when Whitney Houston passed away, he continued with his pre-Grammy party saying the show must go on, and they hadn't even removed Whitney Houston's body from upstairs. There are some people who don't like him because of what happened to Janis Joplin, Phyllis Hyman, all these artists that we've heard out throughout history. And I'll say this, okay? When they came for Diddy, a lot of us, including myself, was like, when is Clive going to be next? When is he going to be next? And Clive has escaped somehow. He escaped somehow, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I grew up on the side of YouTube, okay, that talks about it all. That talks about it all. And I'll say this, if they were right about Diddy, allegedly, you know, he is in prison right now, allegedly, then what else could they have been right about? I need a documentary. 50 Cent, get on that.
Amaya mentioned several names, and their alleged experiences with Clive Davis were also deeply troubling. According to her, the stories surrounding Davis did not begin with today's headlines, they go back decades. Some of the biggest names in music have reportedly had their own experiences with one of the industry's most powerful executives. T-Boz, in particular, made a shocking claim about what happened after TLC's blockbuster album, Crazy Sexy Cool. She said the album generated approximately $75 million, yet each member of the group reportedly received only $50,000.
Tell you because TLC had generated on Crazy Cool $75 million and they gave us $50,000 a piece. I was like, what the hell? So, of course, Lisa was the ringleader.
Like, we need to go get our money. I need to know where my MF and money's at.
So, you know, she was locked up in the diversion center for burning down the house. And she was just like, okay, we gonna get LaFace and them girls I was locked up with, we gonna drive up there, we gonna take the guns. And then we had this limo driver.
Wait, she just got out of jail?
Yes.
Okay.
And we had the limo driver. And he was the getaway car. So we went up there and held everybody hostage, and Puffy was the one that snitched us out. Yo, B, yo, your girl's up here mad bugging, yo.
Do you ever have nightmares about TLC holding you hostage that time?
Records interrupted a meeting with Diddy and wouldn't leave till Clive ponied up more cash for their hit album.
So, of course, Lisa was the ringleader. She was like, "We need to go get our money. I need to know where my money is." At the time, she was being held at a diversion center for burning down the house. She said, "Okay, we're going to get LaFace and the girls I was locked up with. We're going to drive up there and we're going to take the guns." We also had a limousine driver who served as the getaway driver. Lisa had just been released, and we went up there and allegedly held everyone hostage. Puffy was reportedly the one who told people what had happened. "Yo, B, your girls are up here acting crazy. Do you ever have nightmares about the time TLC allegedly held you hostage?" They reportedly interrupted a meeting with Diddy and refused to leave until Clive agreed to pay them more money for their hit album.
Because I was so terrorized by him. Whether he meant to do it or not, I'll never know. But he sure taught me that if you try to terrorize me again, well, we can't say that on public radio. What I may do to someone who tries to hurt me again in this business, I'm not having it. I should be respected as I respect, and I will not have someone try to ruin my spirit.
Jaguar said she understood exactly why they felt that way because she claimed to have experienced something similar herself. She recalled confronting an executive at MCA over money she believed she was owed, explaining that artists sometimes felt forced to take extreme measures simply to receive fair payment. Jaguar also discussed an interview featuring legendary singer Phyllis Hyman.
When it comes to Phyllis Hyman, she had a lot of incidents with Clive Davis, but there was one incident that stands out the most. By the start of 1984, Phyllis Hyman had $50,000 in unpaid bills. She owed a lot of people money, she couldn't pay her staff, and her record label Arista, they were trying to work with her. Money was getting tight, so Phyllis and her manager, they set up a meeting with the record label. The meeting was to talk about her finances and future plans with the label. And I think she was hoping to leave with the check after. But they would shut that down fast, as Phyllis would find out she owes the label $429,000. Also around this time, Clive is locked in on Whitney Houston, who he sees as his next big star. And even after finding out that she owes money, she still tried to make it work with the label. So they have another meeting after that one, and this time around, Phyllis is going in with a clear mind and a clean slate. She wants to make everything right with Clive Davis. The meeting goes great, and for what Clive told her, he wanted to work things out with her. Once she leaves, she gets dropped from the label that same day. Even though he told her he wanted to work things out and wanted to keep working with her. This put her in a bad spot because now she's a free agent, but she still owes them the money.
Interestingly, this interview was recorded not long before Phyllis Hyman passed away. In fact, it appears that Phyllis had several encounters involving Clive Davis in which she allegedly found herself in situations where he held the upper hand. This left her in a difficult position because, although she was now a free agent, she still reportedly owed the money. Heartbreakingly, Phyllis later passed away under circumstances that some have questioned, allegedly while still owing money to Clive Davis.
When Phyllis Hyman died from an overdose back in 1995, it broke everybody's heart. But what a lot of people don't know is that when she was found that day, she was still alive. By now we all know, Phyllis Hyman did not have the best mental health, and this is something that really affected her life. She believed that she wasn't good enough, and she struggled with bipolar disorder. And even with all of that, I don't think nobody expected for her to take her own life. And I think when we talk about her death, we always make it seem like she was already gone when she was found. But truth is, she was still alive. On June 30th, 1995, Phyllis Hyman was found in her New York apartment. Her friends, they went over to her place as they were going to go with her to the Apollo Theater. So they were in the lobby waiting for her, and she never showed up. So they went up to her apartment and they found a sign on the door that said she was taking a nap. They knew something was wrong, so they started talking to each other, and that's when they make a game plan to break down her door. So when they break down her door, they find her in her bed with a bathing suit and a robe on. She had a sleeping mask on too to cover her eyes, and that just tells you just how far gone she was from this world already. And they find her suit note right below her hand, and when they were reading it, they could tell that the handwriting, it was a little shaky. As she was writing the letter, the dream started to kick in. At first, when they find her, they're looking for a pulse and they can't find one, so they run downstairs to the lobby where her other friends are at. They grab her other friend because she was in the medical field. She runs upstairs and she finds a weak pulse on Phyllis. They call EMTs and they rush her to the hospital where she was pronounced dead 90 minutes later. Phyllis Hyman was such a good person, and it's so sad to see how things ended for her.
This is why Diddy's alleged threat to expose Clive Davis is such a significant development. It would represent the student turning against the master. Jaguar Wright has repeatedly claimed that Diddy did not create his own playbook. Instead, she believes he learned everything from Clive Davis. In her view, the methods Diddy is now accused of using were already part of a system that had existed within the music industry for decades. One of Jaguar's most serious claims involves Whitney Houston. According to Jaguar, Whitney had begun to realize that large amounts of money were allegedly missing from her earnings. She claimed that Whitney was preparing to leave Clive Davis's record label after discovering that she had not been paid what she believed she had earned.
Clive Davis had something to do with Whitney Houston's unaliving because she was getting ready to leave Clive Davis's record label because she realized she was missing a whole bunch of money. And a lot of people thought it was terrible when Clive Davis continued to party even though Whitney Houston had just died in the same hotel. And then to add that with even more mystery, it was super weird when Whitney Houston gave this note to Brandy the night before she passed away. And honestly, I want to know what that note says more than anything honestly in the world. And then after Whitney Houston passed away, Bobby Brown's sister started saying that Whitney's death was no accident and saying that Bobby Christina was not safe.
Whitney Houston's body told anybody upon looking at it that it was foul play. Okay, don't get it twisted. No, Whitney Houston, I counted at least 10 gashes in her chest alone. She had marks up and down her legs. Her fingernails were. Her face was out. It was blown up. Yes, as if somebody was punching her in the face. Whitney Houston fought for her life.
Jaguar Wright claimed that this happened to Whitney Houston because she was trying to leave Clive Davis, and then she said the same thing happened to Bobby Christina because Bobby Christina inherited Whitney Houston's estate. And Jaguar Wright claimed that Bobby Christina's boyfriend had a meeting with Clive Davis, and this is how Clive Davis basically set it up to make the same thing happen to Bobby Christina.
According to Jaguar Wright, Bobby Christina's boyfriend, Nick Gordon, allegedly met with Clive Davis before everything unfolded. Jaguar claimed that the meeting was part of a larger plan, although she did not provide any evidence to support the allegation. The discussion became even more dramatic when Bobby Brown's sister shared her own version of events. She claimed that Nick Gordon entered Bobby Christina's life shortly before Whitney Houston's death. According to her allegations, Nick was responsible for Bobby Christina's death.
And just wait till you hear what Bobby Brown's sister had to say about Bobby Christina's passing.
Basically, right before Whitney was, Nick was brought into the picture. And when Nick did that to Bobby Christina and she was rushed to the hospital, because after he beat her and drug her up them steps, he brought her up with something and threw her in the bathtub. It was a setup. It was a setup. Yes. Nick was told not to let her go out of that house and to do whatever it was he got paid to do.
TLC made similar complaints decades earlier after discovering that they were earning far less than expected, despite selling millions of records. The group's members publicly confronted music executives over their finances.
I just had a brief question for you. I watched a couple of your interviews, and you talked about taking Clive Davis hostage. And I just wanted to, because we seen the movie, so I wanted
that
to,
happened.
Yeah, I wanted to just touch on that and just get the outcome of that, like what,
the real deal.
Yeah, what happened? What transpired
really
after
happened?
that?
Okay, well, at that time, we had already left Pebbles, and so we had a lot of questions. We weren't making any money, and we were selling albums and all that, and so LaFace Records was, they point to Arista, and Arista would point back to them, and so we're like, well, let's just go to the head, and that is Clive Davis.
Right.
So Lisa met a few friends when she was, after the burning of the house and everything, she was in a little trouble. She was at this little center.
Oh, Lisa.
And she met some tough girls. They were big. No, I'm serious, like way bigger than you, like huge. Like you would almost think they were like dudes, but they were girls, like look like this, but like, hey, like that. You remember them, I know you did. So she gathered her crew, and she and she and those girls, Antion drove.
And Tay-Tay.
Yeah, and Tay-Tay, which is Tion's cousin. Tay-Tay don't play. And they drove to New York. I got on a plane, met them there, and we had a plan. So, we didn't have any plaques. We didn't have nothing. So we instructed the girls. We said, all right, we're gonna go up to Arista, and I said, we're gonna call, and I said, I'm gonna do the talking. And, because, Chili's the sweet one. Okay. I am sweet. If you cross me, I'm not. So anyway, no.
I was about to say, she's sweet, but
Don't mess with me. But anyway, so we told the girls, when we go there, go on every floor. I can't remember how many floors there were at Arista at the time, and we said anything that says TLC, from the plaque to a regular poster, we don't care what it is, get it. And go and put it in the limo. We had already talked to the limo driver. He was ready. He was like, okay, cool, I'll park right here and I won't leave until y'all say so. So we call up, ring, 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 hey, it's TLC for Clive. He's like, hi, girls, how are you doing? I was like, hey, Clive, we're in town, we miss you, we haven't seen you in a while, we want to come up and say hi. Yeah, girls, come on.
Stories from the group reveal just how desperate they became while trying to recover the money they believed they were owed.
The girls going, and then we go in the room, and then, Lisa's cousin. I don't remember. What? No. Tay-Tay is Tion's cousin. Lisa's cousin was there, too. You know who I'm talking about. And we walked into Clive's office. Puffy was in there playing that's when he was Puffy, playing his music and stuff. And so, we walk in, and of course, everybody's like friendly and ready to say hello. And Tion's cousin walks over. At the time, it was a tape, stops the tape, gives it to Puffy and says, TLC's got a meeting with Clive, and you got to go. Your meeting's over. And Tough Puffy is like, he didn't put up a fuss or nothing, but he was confused, of course, and so...
And what's funny is he told me the exact same story from him. His perspective is the funniest.
So he goes out, and we have one of the girls acting as security outside of that door, and we said, don't let anybody in or out unless we say so. Okay, so Clive is like, girls, what's going on? And so we're like, we need to talk to you. Because we're broke, we don't have no money, and LA is talking about you, and like, we just going on and on and on. And there was another person that needed to be in that meeting who handled finances and stuff there. So he called him on, on the intercom or whatever and said, come to the office. Then the guy calls back, he's like, those ladies or bodyguards won't let me in. So, and mind you, somebody's already called the NYPD because the other girls are like
going all around taking plaques down and everything. And so, of course, you know, can you imagine like working? You're like, wait a minute, what's happening right now? Are we getting robbed? Like, you know, and so, after that, you know, the other gentleman comes in and I start talking, and then I get all emotional because I'm mad, I'm crying, and so this is like for real. And we said, you know, it's not fair. We're selling all these records and we don't have anything to show for it. Like, this is not right.
Some people have also connected this alleged pattern to Biggie Smalls. According to long-standing rumors, Biggie was considering leaving Bad Boy Records before his death. That naturally raises the question, why did so many people who allegedly tried to leave or expose Clive Davis end up being silenced? Some passed away, while others, such as Diddy, were reportedly put behind bars. Is it possible that Clive was the one who informed on Diddy before Diddy could expose him? Let us know what you think in the comments below.